Welcome back to Science in Sleeping. I'm so glad you're here tonight. Wherever you may be, wherever you are listening from, thank you for choosing to spend this quiet time with me tonight. We'll be gently drifting into a story that blends calm rest with deep curiosity. It is a journey beneath the restless earth, into the unseen world that supports our every step. We'll explore the hidden layers of soil and stone, the silent movements of tectonic plates, and the mysteries that sleep just below the surface of our planet. All of this will unfold in a way that is both soothing and peaceful, designed to ease your thoughts and prepare you for sleep. I want to remind you, as always, that this space is yours. You do not need to focus on remembering details. You do not need to concentrate or hold on to every fact. Instead, you can allow the words to wash gently over you, like the rhythm of waves on a quiet shore. If you drift off to sleep along the way, that's perfectly fine. In fact, that's the goal. Think of this as a gift you are giving yourself tonight. A pocket of time where you don't have to solve problems, check your phone, or meet deadlines. This is your time to rest, and you deserve it. Before we begin, I'd love to invite you to take a moment to notice your surroundings. Maybe you are lying in bed. Maybe you are curled beneath a blanket. Maybe you are listening with headphones as the world outside grows quiet. Wherever you are, take a slow, gentle breath in, and then release it. Let your body sink a little deeper into comfort. I also want you to know that you are not alone. People all around the world are tuning in to this very same moment. Perhaps in different time zones, perhaps in different languages and cultures, but united in the same need for calm. Some might be listening in the early evening, winding down after a long day. Others might be listening well past midnight, using this as a gentle bridge into dreams. So if you'd like, imagine for a moment that you are part of this quiet global community, a constellation of listeners, each one lying back, breathing slowly, and giving themselves permission to rest. In this way, you are connected, part of a web of calm energy that stretches across continents. As we begin tonight's journey, remember that the content is designed with two purposes. 1. To give your mind a soft place to rest, gently occupied with soothing ideas. And 2. To spark wonder and curiosity, so that even if you don't stay awake for the whole story, you still carry a sense of fascination and peace with you into sleep. Our theme tonight is the earth beneath us. Often we look up into the sky, the stars, the vastness of space, but tonight we'll go downward, into the quiet, unseen, and often overlooked depths of the world beneath our feet. There are stories written in stone, movements that take centuries, rivers of molten rock hidden away, and there is something profoundly calming about recognizing the slow, patient processes that unfold below us. So, if you are ready, let go of any tension in your body. You don't need to hold on to it anymore. Let your shoulders drop, let your hands rest gently. Allow your jaw to soften. You've carried enough today. You've done enough today. Now, it is time to simply be. You may even find that as you listen, your breath begins to slow, your eyelids grow heavier, and a gentle sense of calm starts to spread through your body. This is a natural and welcome response. You don't need to resist it. You can lean into it. So now, settle in, get comfortable, and let's begin our exploration. Let us journey together into the quiet depths beneath the restless earth. Have you ever wondered what lies beneath your feet? Not just the soil you see in the garden or the pavement of the street, but the hidden world deep below. Have you ever paused to imagine the quiet stories written in layers of earth and stone, each one holding secrets older than any civilization we know? It is easy to look up to the stars and wonder about the heavens, but rarely do we turn our attention downward, toward the mysterious depths that cradle us every single day. Picture yourself standing in a quiet field at dusk. The air is cool, the sky painted in soft twilight colors. Around you the world feels calm and still, yet beneath your feet, unseen and silent, a whole universe of activity is unfolding. The ground below is not simply solid and unmoving. It is layered, alive with history, shifting slowly through time, carrying the memory of ancient seas, lost forests, and the very birth of the planet. As you stand there, the gentle truth is that the story of Earth is holding you in its vast embrace. If we could peel back the surface, if we could gently open the skin of the planet like turning the pages of a book, what we would find is both humbling and extraordinary. Just beneath the grass and soil is a thin crust, sometimes only a few kilometers thick beneath the oceans. A little thicker beneath the continents, this crust is like the shell of an egg, delicate compared to the vast layers below. Beneath it lies the mantle, a slow-moving ocean of rock, so hot that it behaves almost like a liquid, even though it is solid stone, and far deeper still is the core, a molten sea of iron and nickel, glowing with the heat left over from Earth's violent birth. Did you know that the ground beneath you is never truly still? The tectonic plates, those enormous slabs of crust, are constantly drifting, carried along by currents in the mantle. They move only a few centimeters each year, about as fast as your fingernails grow, yet over millions of years. These gentle movements have created mountains taller than clouds and oceans deeper than imagination. The Himalayas, the Andes, the Alps, all born from the slow, patient push and pull of the restless earth. And within the stones themselves are tiny clues of worlds long gone. Fossils pressed into rock, whispers of ancient ferns, shells from seas that once covered the land where cities now stand. Each layer of rock is like a diary entry written by the planet. Some pages are calm, recording gentle eras of warmth and rain. Others are dramatic, recording the chaos of volcanic fire or the silence after an asteroid's impact. It is humbling to realize that the ground beneath us is both archive and author, keeping memory long after human history is forgotten. Imagine for a moment that you could float down through the layers, sinking softly as though gravity had loosened its grip. First, you would pass through dark, fertile soil, smelling faintly of rain. You would drift deeper, through layers of sandstone glowing in warm colors, then limestone, filled with ghostly imprints of creatures long extinct. Deeper still, you'd find granite, hard and ancient, the very bones of the continents. Each layer would cradle you gently, like pages in a book, and as you drifted further, the heat would grow, not harshly, but like the embrace of a warm blanket. It may surprise you to know that much of the Earth's interior is still a mystery. We cannot drill deeper than the upper crust. Instead, scientists listen, like doctors with a stethoscope, to the vibrations of earthquakes, the waves of those tremors travel through the earth, bending and slowing in different ways depending on what lies beneath. From these faint echoes, researchers can map the hidden heart of our planet. It is a beautiful thought that even the earth has a pulse, a rhythm that reveals itself in subtle vibrations, even the magnetic field. The invisible shield that protects us from solar winds comes from the restless motions deep within the core. Without it, life as we know it could not exist. Every compass needle pointing north, every bird migrating across oceans, every aurora shimmering across polar skies, all are guided by the unseen spinning of molten iron far below. And here is another wonder. The heat within the earth is so ancient that some of it comes from the very beginning of time. From the chaos of cosmic dust colliding to form our young planet, some of it is renewed by radioactive decay, atoms breaking apart slowly, gently releasing warmth. This hidden furnace keeps the mantle alive, keeps the plates in motion, and in turn keeps the surface ever-changing. Life itself may owe its beginnings to this restless warmth, to the volcanic vents in the deep oceans where heat met water and created chemistry that blossomed into biology. As we reflect on this, let us pause and feel the comfort of time. The earth does not hurry. It shifts slowly, moves patiently, breathes in centuries. The restless movements below are not frantic, but steady, like the heartbeat of a sleeping giant, and in this way, the earth reminds us that it is all right to rest. It is all right to move slowly, to trust that even quiet progress is still progress. There is something deeply poetic in knowing that the same stone that holds fossils of ancient seashells may one day become the mountain that cradles snow, or the valley that carries rivers. Everything beneath us is in quiet transformation. Every pebble, every grain of sand once belonged to something larger. Every fragment is part of a story still unfolding. And in that story, we too are included, our homes, our footsteps, our memories, all written into the surface of the earth. So as you rest tonight, imagine that you are being gently supported by this vast and ancient memory. The earth is holding you, steady and calm, offering you its slow rhythm as a lullaby. There is no rush here, no need to grasp or hurry, only the patience of stone, the wisdom of layers, the quiet assurance that you are safe. You are part of something vast, and you are allowed to rest within it. And as we close this part of our journey, let your mind drift like those slow tectonic plates, gently, steadily, without effort, tonight. We have only begun to explore the hidden depths, but already the earth has offered us its calm. In the next chapter, we will go further still, to follow the pathways carved by water and time, through caves and underground rivers. Stories hidden in darkness, yet filled with wonder. For now, take a slow breath, let it go, and allow yourself to drift even deeper, carried softly beneath the restless earth. Have you ever wondered what it might feel like to step into the hidden chambers of the earth, to walk where sunlight has never touched, and where time itself seems to stand still? Have you ever imagined an underground river, whispering through stone for thousands of years, never seen by human eyes, carving pathways in total silence? It is strange and a little haunting to think that beneath our world lies an entirely different landscape, one that feels secret, almost forbidden, yet it is real. and it is waiting to be discovered. Picture yourself standing at the mouth of a vast cavern. The air is cool, damp, and carries the faint scent of stone and mineral. The light is dim, perhaps only a soft glow from a lantern in your hand. Every sound echoes, magnified until a single drip of water feels like music in the stillness. As you step forward, the ground is uneven, the walls curve in strange shapes, formed not by human hands but by water and time. The deeper you go, the more you feel that you are entering another world, one that has been alive for millions of years, yet hidden from view. Beneath the restless earth, caves are born in secret. They form when water seeps into cracks, dissolving limestone slowly, patiently, over millennia. Each droplet of rain that falls upon the surface begins a journey, slipping into soil, then into stone, carving microscopic passages that, over countless ages, grow into caverns large enough to swallow cathedrals. These caves are the Earth's hidden cathedrals, grand and solemn, sculpted by patience. Did you know that some stalactites, those icicle-shaped formations that hang from cave ceilings, take more than 100 years just to grow a single inch? Imagine the patience of stone, the discipline of water, drip by drip, year after year, writing sculptures in the darkness. Each stalagmite rising from the ground is a timeline, a diary of rainfall, climate, even the life of forests above. If you could slice one open, it would reveal rings, much like the trunk of a tree, telling the story of centuries in silence. As you walk deeper into this imagined cavern, you might begin to hear something faint. A sound that is not quite the drip of water, not quite the shift of stone, but something flowing, soft and persistent. It is an underground river, moving steadily, carving its way through the darkness. These hidden waters are powerful sculptors. They create caverns that twist like labyrinths, chambers that seem to go on forever, and sometimes they disappear entirely, slipping into sinkholes or vanishing beneath walls of stone. Scientists call this a karst landscape, a world of disappearing streams, hollowed rock, and mysterious voids. And beneath it all, there are secrets even deeper in some caves. Explorers have found entire ecosystems, creatures that have never seen light, blind fish with pale skin, insects that navigate by touch alone, bacteria that feed on minerals instead of sunlight. These beings live in what scientists call a chemosynthetic world, where life thrives without photosynthesis. It feels almost alien, as though the caves of Earth hold clues to how life might exist on distant planets, perhaps in the dark oceans beneath the ice of Europa, or in the shadows of Martian stone. Imagine walking further still. You come upon a cavern so vast that your light cannot reach the ceiling. The air feels ancient, heavy with silence. You notice strange markings on the walls, shapes that look almost like drawings, and you realize that long ago humans too found refuge here. For tens of thousands of years, caves were homes, sanctuaries, and canvases. Early humans painted animals, symbols, and stories in ochre and charcoal. Some of these paintings have survived nearly 40,000 years, sheltered by the stone, waiting for us to rediscover them. The thought is haunting that people like us once stood in this same darkness, painting dreams onto walls, telling stories by firelight while water dripped softly around them. In a sense, caves are the first libraries of humankind, silent witnesses to our earliest imagination. Preserved in darkness, yet caves are not always peaceful. They can be unpredictable. Water that creates them can also collapse them. Sudden floods can rise without warning. Passages can shift and close. To enter a cave is to step into a world that is alive, always changing, always reshaping itself. There is a suspense here, a sense that the earth is breathing, slow but powerful, reminding us that this is her domain, not ours. Scientists study caves not only for beauty, but also for secrets about our planet's climate. In the delicate rings of stalagmites, they can read patterns of rainfall going back tens of thousands of years. These natural records tell us of droughts that shaped civilizations, of floods that altered coastlines, of rhythms that remind us the earth is always shifting between balance and change. It is as though the caves are journals, quietly writing down the memory of the sky above. And sometimes, caves are more than natural wonders. They are doorways to the underworlds of myth in cultures across the globe. Caves were seen as entrances to other realms. In Greek legend, they were portals to Hades. In Mayan tradition, caves were sacred, places where gods spoke and spirits dwelled, even today. Stepping into a deep cavern carries with it a feeling of crossing into something beyond ordinary reality. There is suspense in the thought of how much we have yet to discover. Beneath the surface of our planet lie vast networks of tunnels and chambers that no one has yet seen. The largest cave systems stretch for hundreds of miles, some still unmapped. Every year, explorers stumble upon new caverns, vast halls hidden beneath jungles or deserts, untouched until now. It makes you wonder what secrets still lie beneath your very feet, waiting silently in the dark. And yet, in all this mystery, there is comfort, because caves remind us that time does not need to be hurried. Water carves stone slowly, yet it shapes entire landscapes. Stalactites grow silently, yet they outlast empires. The patience of the underground world is a gentle teacher, reminding us that progress can be invisible and still profoundly real. So, as you rest tonight, let yourself imagine drifting down into such a cavern. You walk slowly, the echo of your footsteps blending with the steady drip of water. The air is cool, almost protective. You pause to run your fingers along the wall and feel the texture of stone that was once seabed, once ocean floor, once alive with coral and shells. Now it holds you, solid and strong, in that moment. You realize you are part of a story billions of years old. Take comfort in the thought that just as the caves hold history, they also hold silence. They remind us that the earth itself knows how to rest, how to wait, how to breathe in stillness. Let that stillness fill you. Let it calm the racing parts of your mind. Like water smoothing rough stone, you are safe here, sheltered, and allowed to let go. And when you are ready, we will move even deeper, for beyond caves and rivers lie the mysteries of fire, the volcanoes that rise from hidden chambers of magma, the molten heart of the planet that sometimes roars to the surface. For now, though, breathe slowly, breathe gently, and drift in the quiet patience of the caves, carried softly beneath the restless earth. Have you ever wondered what it feels like beneath a volcano? Not the mountain you see above ground, but the chambers hidden below. The great reservoirs of molten stone that lie waiting in silence. Have you ever thought about how something so seemingly solid as rock can melt, flow, and rise with unstoppable force? It is a haunting thought that beneath the calm landscapes we know, entire oceans of fire are moving, shaping the surface of the planet in ways both beautiful and terrifying. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a volcano. It is night, the air cool and still. Above you, the sky is filled with stars, vast and eternal. Below you, in the crater, there is a faint orange glow, like the quiet breathing of the earth itself. The ground is warm beneath your feet, and from deep within you hear a low, distant rumble. It is not loud, but it is constant, steady, as though the planet itself has a heartbeat. Volcanoes are the voice of the earth when pressure builds to great, when the molten rock of the mantle finds a pathway to the surface. The earth exhales. It exhales in fire, in ash, in rivers of lava that carve new landscapes. Did you know that more than 80% of the Earth's surface, including the entire ocean floor, was formed by volcanic activity? In a way, volcanoes are creators, not just destroyers. They built the continents. They shaped the islands. They even released the gases that became our atmosphere. Without volcanoes, life as we know it could not exist. Deep below, magma forms when parts of the mantle grow hot enough to melt. Though it moves slowly, like honey in motion, it carries unimaginable energy. It rises through cracks and fractures, gathering in great chambers, sometimes for centuries, waiting silent, until the pressure becomes too much. Then, one day, the earth releases its hidden fire. Imagine being close enough to see such a moment. You stand at a safe distance, the ground trembling gently, then suddenly, a fountain of molten rock bursts into the night sky, glowing like liquid stars. The air fills with sparks and smoke, and a river of fire begins to flow. It is both terrifying and mesmerizing, a reminder that the ground beneath us is not lifeless but alive. And yet, even in destruction, there is creation. When lava cools, it becomes new rock, black and sharp over years. Rain and wind soften it. Plants take root in the cracks. Life always returns. In Hawaii, entire forests have sprung from old lava flows, lush and green, nourished by minerals released from the fire. In Iceland, geothermal heat warms the ground, creating greenhouses where people grow food in the shadow of volcanoes. Even in the most hostile landscapes, life adapts. Did you know that some of the most fertile soils in the world are born from volcanic ash? The dark earth around Mount Vesuvius, Mount Etna, and the slopes of Java feeds millions of people. Rice fields, vineyards, orchards all flourish where volcanoes once burned. It is strange but comforting that out of fire comes nourishment. Out of chaos comes renewal. But volcanoes also hold suspense. They are unpredictable. Scientists study their tremors, gases, and heat. But eruptions still come with mystery. Some last only a few minutes, others for months. Some reshape entire regions. Did you know that in 1815, the eruption of Mount Tambora in Indonesia sent so much ash into the sky that the world experienced what was called the year without a summer? Crops failed, temperatures dropped, and skies across Europe turned strange and dim. A single volcano in one corner of the world changed the climate of the entire planet. And there are supervolcanoes, rare and immense. They lie dormant, sleeping beneath the surface. Yellowstone in the United States, Toba in Indonesia, Taupo in New Zealand. These giants have erupted in the distant past with force beyond comprehension, covering continents in ash, altering life on Earth. They are reminders that the planet is larger, older, and more powerful than any one civilization. Yet, for all their power, they sleep most of the time, quietly, patiently, beneath our feet. Imagine drifting down, not into a cave this time, but into the molten chambers themselves. You float through stone that glows with heat, walls shimmering like liquid amber. The air hums with energy. Slow currents of magma swirl beneath you, glowing rivers that will one day find their way to the surface. It is like standing in the furnace of creation, the same kind of heat that forged the earth billions of years ago. It is overwhelming, yet strangely comforting, because it reminds us of beginnings, of cycles, of renewal. Scientists believe that much of the Earth's water and atmosphere were released by volcanic activity billions of years ago. Imagine that, the air you breathe, the clouds drifting above, the oceans themselves, may have been born from the breath of volcanoes. What once seemed like destruction is, in truth, creation. The Earth remakes itself over and over, each eruption rewriting the landscape, each cooling flow becoming the foundation for future life. And here lies the poetry of it. Volcanoes remind us that even within chaos, there is purpose. Within fire, there is renewal. They embody transformation. What looks like an ending is often the beginning of something new. In the slow patience of stone and the sudden fury of eruption, there is the same rhythm we find in our own lives. Moments of quiet stability, moments of upheaval, and always the return of calm as you lie here tonight. Let yourself imagine that slow heartbeat of the planet beneath you, beneath everyone. The mantle stirs quietly, carrying rivers of molten stone, not in anger, not in haste, but in its own time. The surface may tremble, mountains may rise, but always the earth finds balance again. And so can you. You are allowed to release your pressure, to exhale, to let go, just as the earth does. There is suspense in knowing we cannot predict every eruption, but there is comfort in knowing the cycles continue. What ends begins again. What falls rises again. From the ashes of fire comes the green of forests. From the darkness of eruption comes the light of renewal. So too, in your own life, you can allow what is heavy to burn away, making space for new beginnings. So let yourself rest now. Feel the warmth of the earth beneath you, not as danger, but as a blanket of energy that has sustained life for billions of years. You are safe in its rhythm. You are part of its story. As you breathe slowly, imagine that you are drifting in sync with the mantle itself, calm, steady, infinite. And when you are ready, we will move further still. Beyond fire and stone lie the hidden rivers of the planet, not of lava this time, but of water, underground lakes, aquifers, and the mysterious currents that flow unseen. They too shape the restless earth, and they too hold secrets worth exploring. For now, breathe deeply, release your tension, and rest in the quiet heartbeat of the molten world below. Have you ever wondered where the rain goes after it falls? Not the water you see flowing in streams or rushing into rivers, but the droplets that disappear into the ground. Have you ever imagined the secret journeys they take, slipping through soil and stone, vanishing into hidden chambers where they might remain for years, centuries, or even millennia? It is a haunting thought that beneath our feet, entire oceans are hidden, silent, and unseen, waiting in the darkness. Picture yourself standing on a quiet plain just after a storm. The air is fresh, filled with the scent of rain. Puddles gleam in the moonlight, and the ground glistens with moisture. As you watch, droplets sink into the soil, disappearing from view. And yet, though unseen, they are not lost. They are beginning a journey downward, pulled by gravity, slipping between grains of sand, weaving around roots, pressing into cracks in stone. As they descend, they join other droplets, forming threads of water, then streams, then hidden rivers. Beneath the restless earth, aquifers stretch like secret veins, vast reservoirs of water trapped within rock. Some are shallow, only a few meters below the surface. Others lie so deep they are almost untouchable. Did you know that the largest aquifer in the world, the Great Artesian Basin in Australia, holds more water than all the rivers on the continent combined? Some of that water is millions of years old, older than human history, older than many species that now walk the earth. Imagine drifting down through layers of soil into one of these underground rivers. The air grows cooler, the light fades, until you are surrounded by darkness. Yet ahead, you hear the gentle murmur of moving water. You step into a cavern where a river flows in complete silence, its surface glimmering faintly as though lit from within. It winds between walls of stone polished smooth by centuries of passage. Every sound echoes the trickle of water, the hollow drop of condensation falling from the ceiling. It is both eerie and beautiful, a place where time feels suspended. These rivers are sculptors, just as powerful as fire. They carve winding tunnels, hollow out caverns, and create sinkholes that appear suddenly on the surface. Entire landscapes have collapsed into these hidden voids, swallowed by the patient persistence of water. There is suspense in knowing that beneath even the most stable ground, unseen, shaping the land in silence, and yet, underground water is also life-giving. More than 2 billion people on Earth depend on aquifers for drinking water. Wells tap into these reservoirs, drawing from the hidden gift stored below in deserts. Oases appear where underground rivers reach the surface, creating green refuges of life. In some places, the water is hot, warmed by geothermal heat, bubbling up as springs, where people have bathed for thousands of years. Did you know that in some caves, divers have found underground lakes so vast that their far shores vanish into darkness? These explorers describe the water as so clear it feels like floating in air. Some passages descend deeper than any human has reached, leading into networks that may stretch for hundreds of miles. Every expedition into these hidden waters carries risk, yet also the possibility of discovery, a new cavern, a new species, or simply the breathtaking silence of a lake untouched for ages. It is unsettling to think how much of the Earth's water lies out of sight, beneath layers of stone. Some of it is fresh, sustaining life. Some is trapped in salty chambers, locked away for millions of years. Scientists call these ancient reservoirs fossil water. Once it is gone, it cannot be replaced. It is like drinking from the memory of the planet itself. Imagine pausing by one of these hidden lakes. The ceiling above glitters with tiny crystals of mineral. Reflecting your faint light, the water is still, perfectly still, like glass. When you lean closer, you see no ripples, no movement, only depth. It feels almost alive, as though it is holding its breath, waiting. There is suspense in that stillness, a sense of mystery that borders on the otherworldly. Underground rivers also connect us to the past. In some aquifers, scientists have found traces of ancient rainfall preserved in the chemistry of the water. By studying isotopes, they can tell when the rain fell, what the climate was like, and even how the winds once moved across continents. Each drop is a time capsule, holding the memory of skies long vanished, and in these depths, life finds a way. Blind fish, transparent shrimp, microorganisms that feed not on sunlight. They have evolved in complete darkness, never knowing the warmth of the sun. To encounter such creatures feels like meeting beings from another world, fragile, ghostly, and yet perfectly adapted. Their existence tells us something profound, that life does not depend only on light, but can find a foothold in shadow and silence. There is poetry in this hidden water. It reminds us that even what disappears from sight is not gone. The rain that falls and vanishes into the soil continues its journey, unseen but purposeful, just as our own efforts, though invisible, may continue shaping our lives quietly, patiently. Underground rivers are like the subconscious of the planet, flowing beneath awareness, carrying the hidden rhythms that sustain everything above. So, as you rest tonight, let yourself imagine lying above such a river. Beneath you, deep below, water is moving, slowly, steadily, whispering through stone. You cannot see it, but it is there, carrying life, shaping landscapes, reminding you that unseen currents exist within you as well. Thoughts, emotions, and dreams flowing quietly, shaping who you are, even when you are not aware of them. You can trust these hidden rivers, just as the earth trusts hers, and as you breathe, feel the calm of this hidden water rising through you, washing away the tension of the day. Your worries can sink, carried off like pebbles in a stream, dissolving into the flow. You do not need to hold them. You can let the underground river carry them, patient, steady, eternal. Soon, we will travel deeper still. Beyond rivers and aquifers lies something even more mysterious. The hidden caverns where crystals grow like forests of glass, where the earth itself seems to dream in glittering silence. But for now, allow yourself to rest in the thought of secret rivers flowing beneath you. Ancient, steady, timeless, let their patience be your comfort, their silence your lullaby. You are safe, carried softly in the arms of the restless earth. Have you ever wondered if the earth dreams, if the planet itself keeps secret chambers where time moves differently, where silence is broken only by the slow, steady growth of stone? Imagine walking deep into the ground and stumbling upon a place so dazzling, so otherworldly, that it feels as though you've entered the memory of another world. These are the crystal caverns, hidden far below the restless earth, places where the ordinary transforms into the extraordinary, Picture yourself entering a cavern where the air is thick and still. The temperature rises as you descend, and the faint glow of your light reveals vast shapes shimmering in the shadows. Towering crystals, taller than trees, stretch from floor to ceiling, each one a pale, luminous pillar. They seem alive, glowing with the memory of minerals and water locked within their bodies. Around you, the ground glitters like frost, except this frost does not melt. It has been here for thousands, perhaps millions of years. In Mexico, there is a place known as the Cave of the Crystals, a cavern hidden beneath the Neka mountain. Within it stand the largest crystals ever discovered. Some are as long as a bus, as heavy as a small house. Imagine standing before a single shard of crystal, its surface smooth and translucent, glowing faintly in the heat. The air inside the cave is suffocating, more than 130 degrees Fahrenheit, with nearly 100% humidity. To remain inside for more than a few minutes without protection is dangerous. Yet, even in that hostile environment, beauty thrives in silence. These crystals are not decorations. They are the product of patient work for 500,000 years. Mineral-rich water seeped into the cavern, hot and heavy with gypsum. As the water cooled, molecules aligned, slowly, steadily, forming these monumental structures. It is as though the earth was sculpting its own cathedral, not with chisel and hammer, but with patience and time. Every crystal is a frozen record of that slow, steady growth. Imagine running your hand along the surface of one, cool and smooth. The light catches within, scattering like pale fire. It feels as though you are touching frozen light, something both fragile and eternal. Suspense lingers in knowing how easily such wonders can be lost. If the water drains too quickly, the crystals may stop growing. If the chamber is disturbed, they may shatter. They remind us how delicate beauty can be, even when it towers over us like stone giants. But the Cave of the Crystals is not the only hidden wonder. Across the world, caverns of glittering mineral exist, some filled with quartz geodes that sparkle like galaxies when cracked open. In Spain, miners discovered a geode so large a person could stand within it. The walls shimmered with crystals as though the stars themselves had been caught in stone. Did you know that some crystals still grow imperceptibly, even now, continuing their silent expansion while no one is there to witness it? Think of this. Every crystal has its own lattice, a pattern written at the atomic level, repeating again and again. Each angle, each plane, each gleam of light is dictated by the quiet order of the universe. It is structure born from chaos, symmetry from disorder. The same principles that guide galaxies also guide crystals. Stars and stones are both shaped by the patient insistence of physics. Now imagine yourself deeper still, walking through a cavern where crystals glow faintly in the dimness. You pass through narrow corridors lined with translucent pillars. The air is warm, heavy, yet strangely comforting. Every sound is softened, as if the crystals themselves are absorbing the noise. Around you, the cavern feels alive, breathing slowly, pulsing with light. It is as if you have entered the heart of a sleeping giant. Suspense sharpens when you realize how hostile these places can be. The Cave of the Crystals in Neka was so extreme that scientists needed special cooling suits to survive more than a few minutes. Without protection, explorers could collapse within seconds, suffocated by the heat. And yet, within this danger lies beauty that seems unearthly. It makes you wonder how many more caverns lie undiscovered, sealed away by the earth, waiting in silence, growing in the dark. And yet there is comfort too. These crystals remind us of the slow pace of the planet. They are born not of haste, but of patience. They do not rush. They simply become layer by layer, molecule by molecule. They embody the wisdom of waiting in their presence. Time feels stretched, softened, as if reminding us that growth does not need to be fast to be profound. There is also mystery here. Some believe that crystals hold memory, that their structures can resonate with energies we do not yet fully understand. Whether or not this is true, what is certain is that they do hold history. Their chemical signatures reveal the temperatures of ancient waters, the minerals of vanished seas, the whispers of climates long past. To hold a crystal is to hold a fragment of the Earth's diary, written in silence. Imagine pausing in the middle of a crystal cavern. You dim your light, and for a moment, everything is black. Then, slowly, faint glimmers appear, reflections from crystals catching even the smallest glow. It feels like standing in a night sky underground. Stars, not above, but all around. A galaxy of stone, eternal and unmoving, yet alive with quiet radiance. And in this galaxy, you feel small, but not in a frightening way. Rather, you feel held, as if the vast patience of the earth enfolds you. The crystals have waited millions of years for you to stand here. They are older than every story you've heard, older than the languages spoken above. They are monuments, not to human achievement, but to nature's. Let that thought sink into you as you drift toward rest. Just as crystals grow layer by layer, so too do you. Every night you sleep, every moment you pause. You are forming your own structures, invisible but vital. You are aligning yourself, becoming, slowly, steadily, beautifully. There is no rush. You can trust the patience of time, so breathe gently, and imagine yourself within that glowing cavern, surrounded by towering crystals that hum with silence. You are safe here, suspended in a cathedral of stone and light. Nothing can reach you, nothing can hurry you. The earth cradles you in her hidden arms, and as you prepare to drift deeper into sleep, know that beyond crystals lie even more mysteries. Beneath the restless earth are caverns filled with echoes, with strange gases, with chambers untouched since the dawn of time, each one waiting like a closed book, its story unread. Soon, we will step into those hidden places, listening for the whispers of the earth herself. But for now, rest, and let the slow patience of crystals lull you into stillness. Have you ever wondered what silence really sounds like? We often think of silence as nothingness, an empty space without sound, but deep within the earth, silence is not empty. It is alive, shaped by the stone walls that surround it. It is a silence so profound that your own heartbeat becomes thunder, and your breath seems to echo like a drumbeat. Have you ever imagined standing in such a place, where even the smallest sound becomes a companion, and where the earth itself seems to listen? Picture yourself walking into a cavern unlike any you have seen before. The air feels heavy, thick with age. The floor is smooth beneath your feet, worn down by unseen waters long ago. The walls curve inward, polished by time, and as you take a step, the sound ricochets in strange directions. You pause, listening, and realize that you are surrounded by a chorus of echoes. They come back to you, stretched and twisted, like voices trying to speak across a dream. There are chambers beneath the earth, designed by nature to trap sound. In these places, a single whisper can travel for what feels like forever, bouncing from wall to wall, shifting tone and pitch until it no longer sounds like your own voice. Some explorers describe the sensation as unsettling, as though the cavern itself is speaking back to them. Did you know that in certain limestone caves, sound can carry so strangely that two people standing at opposite ends of a chamber can whisper to each other as though they were side by side? The science of these echoes is simple yet fascinating. When sound waves hit surfaces, they bounce. If the chamber is shaped like a dome or a curve, the sound is amplified, stretched, or focused in vast caverns. Echoes can last several seconds, wrapping around you like invisible threads. It is like standing inside an instrument. The earth itself becomes the violin, the drum, the flute, and you, a fragile listener, are caught inside its music. Imagine standing in one of these chambers. Your footsteps create patterns of sound. Each tap against stone becomes a story. The echoes overlap and weave together like ripples in a pond colliding. There is suspense in it, a kind of waiting, as though at any moment the cavern might answer you with its own hidden voice. And then, deeper still, you encounter silence of another kind. Not the echoing silence of a vast chamber, but the crushing silence of absolute stillness. There are places so deep within the earth that sound does not carry, where the air is so still that even your breath seems swallowed whole. It is a silence that presses against your skin, that makes your own body feel loud. In such places, many people feel an uneasy thrill, as if they are standing in the very pause between heartbeats. Suspense sharpens here, because silence leaves room for imagination. In the absence of sound, your mind fills in the gaps. You begin to think, you hear whispers, a faint hum, a far-off pulse, and sometimes those sounds are not imagined. Deep underground gases escape through narrow vents, producing low rumbles, faint hisses, or the hollow drip of unseen water. These noises can seem ghostly, untraceable, as though the earth itself is speaking in a language of sighs. There is a cave in Kentucky known as the Whispering Gallery, where the shape of the chamber allows sound to bend. A person can stand at one end and hear a voice spoken softly from the far side, almost 200 feet away. Explorers have long marveled at this phenomenon. Some described it as eerie, as though the stone itself had carried the message. And yet it is nothing more than physics, sound bending, bouncing, and finding its path along the stone walls. Now imagine yourself resting in such a place. You sit down on a smooth rock, and for a moment you let the echoes swirl around you. Your thoughts join the chorus, growing softer with each repetition, until they no longer feel sharp or insistent. Instead, they become like echoes themselves, fading gently into the distance, each worry, each anxious thought, bouncing away softer and softer, until at last it disappears into the hush. And then comes reflection. The chambers of echoes remind us that every sound we make ripples outward. Every word spoken, every laugh shared, every sigh continues on in ways we cannot always see or hear, just as an echo stretches into the dark. So, to do our actions stretch into the world. This thought, rather than being frightening, can be comforting. You are part of something larger. Your voice joining the quiet symphony of existence. In the same way, silence itself teaches us something. It reminds us that absence can be full, that quiet is not empty but alive. It is in silence that we hear ourselves most clearly. It is in silence that the body rests and the mind softens. Just as caves hold stillness for centuries, so too can you allow yourself moments of stillness, without rushing, without needing to fill every second with noise. So here, in this underground chamber, listen, hear the echoes fading, hear the whispers of air slipping through cracks, hear the silence wrapping itself around you. You are safe here, suspended in sound and stillness, cradled by the breath of the earth. And as we prepare to step into the next mystery, imagine that the chamber opens into darker tunnels, where gases drift unseen, where strange minerals form patterns that glimmer faintly, where the air grows hotter and the stone begins to tremble with hidden currents. These are places where the earth feels restless, where something ancient stirs beneath. But before we go there, let yourself rest, breathe, and carry with you the comfort of echoes fading into stillness. Have you ever wondered what burns beneath your feet? Not the fires we see on the surface, not the orange tongues of flame that flicker in hearths or candles, but the hidden fires of the planet itself. Imagine rivers of molten rock, glowing with ancient heat, moving silently beneath the crust, patient yet restless, waiting in chambers as vast as mountains. Have you ever imagined walking above such hidden seas of fire? Feeling the pulse of a force older than life itself. Picture yourself in a cavern where the stone walls glow faintly red. Heat radiates upward, shimmering in waves. The air is thick, humming with energy. Beneath you, through a crack in the floor, you glimpse the slow swirl of magma, glowing orange and gold like liquid sunlight. It moves not with haste, but with the dignity of something eternal, rolling, folding, shimmering, breathing. The very ground beneath you feels alive. Magma chambers are real, vast pockets of molten rock that sit beneath volcanoes and mountain ranges. They are the beating hearts of the Earth's crust, quietly storing and circulating molten rock until pressure builds and release comes in the form of eruptions. Did you know that some of these chambers are larger than entire cities? Their size defies imagination. They are oceans of liquid stone, hidden from our eyes, yet shaping the surface above us in silence. The suspense lies in their patience. For centuries, a chamber may rest quietly, feeding small underground currents of heat. Slowly, minerals crystallize along the edges. Gases dissolve and rise. The chamber becomes restless, shifting, changing, waiting, and then, suddenly, it can awaken. The magma surges upward, cracks open, and the sleeping giant exhales in fire. But not all magma chambers lead to destruction. Some remain sealed for thousands of years, forming layers of stone with every cooling cycle. The slow solidification of magma creates igneous rocks, granite, basalt, obsidian, the building blocks of continents and mountains. Every stone you have ever touched may once have been part of a hidden fire, melted, reformed, reborn. Imagine yourself standing inside one of these chambers. The walls glow like embers. Every breath feels heavy, full of heat. Yet it is not frightening. Instead, there is wonder in knowing you are standing inside the earth's forge. This is the place where landscapes are born, where islands rise from the sea, where mountains push toward the sky. All of it begins here, in the silence of fire. Did you know that the Hawaiian Islands were built from such hidden chambers? Magma rising again and again, layering lava upon lava, until entire islands formed above the ocean. Or that Iceland sits atop a boundary where two tectonic plates pull apart, allowing magma to well upward, fueling geysers, hot springs, and fiery eruptions. These are places where the planet reminds us of its living heart. But perhaps the most suspenseful truth of all is the hidden nature of magma. We cannot see most of it. We cannot know the exact size of every chamber. Some lie miles beneath the surface, silent, vast, waiting, their presence revealed only through faint tremors, shifts in the earth's skin, whispers of heat rising through stone. It is as though the earth keeps secrets just beyond our reach, hinting but never revealing fully. Now imagine lowering yourself deeper, past the glowing rivers, into the mantle itself. Here, magma is not just a chamber, but a sea without end. Slow convection currents stir the molten rock, like the turning of a great cauldron, carrying heat outward from the core. This movement is what drives the continents, pushing plates apart, colliding them, forcing mountains to rise. It is a force so vast we cannot truly grasp it. Yet it is happening beneath us every moment. And yet, in the presence of this fire, there is peace. Just as fire in a fireplace warms and soothes, so too does the knowledge of the earth's inner heat bring comfort. It is a reminder that beneath all chaos, there is a steady rhythm. The planet does not burn in anger, it burns in life. Its warmth has lasted for billions of years, and it will last for billions more. Reflection comes quietly here. Think of how we, too, carry fire within us, not magma, but the heat of our own bodies, the steady warmth of life. Our hearts beat with a rhythm not unlike the earth's molten flow, always circulating, always moving, always giving energy. The fires of the planet and the fires within us are kin. They remind us that we are not separate from the earth, but made of the same energy. So now, imagine yourself resting at the edge of a magma river. You sit on a stone ledge, the glow illuminating the cavern around you. The heat is strong but gentle, like a blanket wrapping you in warmth. You listen to the slow bubbling, the sigh of gases rising through cracks. It is like the breath of the earth, deep and steady. Whispering lullabies in firelight, suspense lingers, because you know these chambers can awaken. Yet in this dream, you are safe. You are only a visitor, watching the secret forge of the planet. The molten rivers move on, slow and unhurried, carrying with them the memory of creation. As you drift into calm, you carry with you the sense that everything, even fire, can be slow, patient, and nurturing. And as we move onward, deeper into the restless earth, we will find other mysteries, not just of fire, but of stone that shifts, of forces that bend mountains and crack valleys, the hidden movements that shape the very skin of our world. For now, breathe gently, rest, and let the glow of hidden fire cradle you as you sink into sleep. Have you ever wondered how the ground beneath you moves? It feels solid, doesn't it? Firm and unmoving. Something you can trust with every step, but the truth is stranger. The ground beneath you is not still at all. It is floating, gliding, slowly but surely, on an invisible sea of molten rock. Every continent, every mountain, every forest, every city is carried along like a raft adrift on a vast ocean of fire. Picture yourself lying on your back, gazing at the ceiling of the night sky. Now imagine that the ground beneath you is moving, slowly, silently, across the face of the planet. You do not feel it, you cannot sense it, and yet, with every passing year, the earth beneath you drifts like a sleeper rolling gently in their dreams. This is the secret of tectonic plates, and it has been unfolding for hundreds of millions of years. The crust of the earth is broken into giant slabs called plates. These plates fit together like pieces of a puzzle, covering the surface of the planet. Beneath them lies the mantle. Soft enough to flow over long stretches of time, the plates float atop this mantle, pushed and pulled by currents of heat rising from the deep interior. The motion is unimaginably slow, just a few centimeters each year, but across the ages. That movement is powerful enough to rip continents apart, slam them together, and raise mountains higher than the clouds. Suspense lingers in knowing that even now, the continents are not where they once were. If you were to travel back 200 million years, you would see all the land fused together in a single giant continent called Pangaea. From its heart stretched endless forests, deserts, and rivers, surrounded by one enormous ocean. But over time, Pangaea cracked. The plates drifted apart, carrying continents to their current positions. And they are still moving, slowly, restlessly, like pieces of a puzzle, always shifting. Imagine standing at the edge of the mid-Atlantic ridge, deep beneath the ocean. Here, two plates are pulling apart. As they drift away, magma rises to fill the gap, cooling into new crust. It is as though the earth is breathing, inhaling and exhaling rock. This process is so steady that the Atlantic Ocean is growing wider every year, a fraction of an inch at a time, yet given millions of years, that fraction becomes an ocean. Or picture the Himalayas, where the Indian plate collides with the Eurasian plate. The land crumples and folds, mountains thrust skyward. Snow-capped peaks rise into the thin air, growing taller each year. Did you know that Mount Everest itself grows higher every year, pushed upward by the slow but unstoppable collision beneath? It is strange to think that the tallest mountain on Earth is not fixed, but still climbing, carried upward on the strength of plate tectonics. The suspense of these movements is hidden in their slowness. We cannot feel them in a single lifetime, but the consequences are enormous. Earthquakes strike along fault lines, sudden reminders that the plates are always restless. Volcanoes erupt where plates meet, releasing the heat stored in the planet's heart. Even the continents themselves are destined to meet again. Scientists believe that in 200 million years, a new supercontinent may form. The world as we know it will be reshaped, familiar coastlines erased, new mountains rising, oceans disappearing. It is the slow dance of the earth, a waltz of stone and fire that never ends. Now, Imagine yourself as small as a pebble, lying on the surface of one of these plates. You are carried along without effort, drifting across oceans, across deserts, across mountains. The journey is so slow that you do not notice movement at all. And yet, you are always moving, never still. You are a passenger on a planet that never truly rests. Did you know that the plate carrying Australia is one of the fastest, drifting northward at nearly 3 inches a year? Over millions of years, that steady pace will bring it closer to Asia, changing the map of the world entirely. Or that California lies along the San Andreas Fault, where 2 plates slide past one another, grinding and scraping, storing tension that sometimes releases in sudden, powerful earthquakes. The stillness we feel is an illusion. Beneath us, the world is in motion, but let us step back and reflect. The drifting plates remind us of time's patience. They teach us that movement does not need to be fast to be profound. The slowest drift can raise mountains. The faintest push can create oceans. In your own life, too, change often comes quietly. With small steps, subtle shifts, over years, those movements reshape you, just as they reshape the earth. Imagine lying in bed now, feeling the stillness around you, and then remembering that even in this moment, you are in motion. You are not only carried by the turning of the earth and the orbit around the sun, but also by the drifting of tectonic plates. The entire ground beneath you is on a journey. You may not sense it, but you are part of this great, slow migration. You are part of the endless dance of continents. And here, in this thought, there is comfort. The earth is never truly still, and yet it endures. It drifts, it shifts, it reshapes, and through it all, life finds a way to flourish. In the same way, you can endure your own shifts, your own movements. Even if you feel unsteady, you are carried. You are part of a rhythm larger than yourself. So rest now, breathe gently, and imagine yourself adrift on a vast raft of stone. The plate beneath you carries you onward, patient and steady, across oceans and mountains. Across the ages themselves, you are safe, you are held. You are part of the slow and beautiful journey of the earth. And as we prepare to continue deeper, we will follow these drifting plates to the places where they tear apart and collide, to the trenches and rifts where the earth yawns open, to the ridges where new land is born. The restless earth has more secrets to share, but for now, let the thought of steady, slow drifting lull you into peace, carried gently toward sleep. Have you ever wondered what happens at the edges of the world, where the earth seems to fold into itself? There are places where the seafloor sinks, sliding into darkness, disappearing into the planet's interior. These are the deep-sea trenches, the most secretive and forbidding places on Earth, where the crust itself bends and vanishes, swallowed whole by the mantle below. Picture yourself floating on a quiet night sea. The stars glimmer above, the water rocks gently beneath you. But then you imagine what lies below, a descent, not of a few feet, not even of a mile, but of 7, 8, even 11 miles into the abyss. The ocean floor falls away into a trench, a scar in the earth where one plate slides beneath another. It is a place no sunlight reaches, a place where the weight of the ocean above would crush a submarine like a toy. This process is called subduction. It is here, in these trenches, that the surface of the Earth recycles itself. A tectonic plate, after millions of years drifting, is finally pulled downward, sliding beneath its neighbor. The ocean crust bends, plunging deep into the mantle, carrying with it rocks, sediments, even the remains of ancient life. Imagine it, fossils of sea creatures entombed in stone, descending into the furnace of the planet, transformed by fire and pressure. The most famous of these places is the Mariana Trench in the western Pacific. Deeper than Mount Everest is tall. At its heart lies the Challenger Deep, nearly 36,000 feet below the waves. The pressure there is unimaginable, over 1,000 times greater than the air pressing on you now. A single human could not survive even a fraction of that weight. And yet, life exists there, strange creatures with bodies like shadows, translucent, soft, able to withstand the crushing dark. Suspense fills these trenches because they are not only graveyards of plates, but also cradles of fire. As the subducting plate sinks, it heats and melts. Water trapped in the rocks escapes, rising into the mantle above, lowering its melting point. From this process, magma is born, rising through cracks, feeding chains of volcanoes. The famous Ring of Fire, circling the Pacific Ocean, is built upon this hidden engine. Every eruption, every fiery mountain, traces back to the quiet sinking of a plate into the depths. Imagine standing on the rim of a volcano in Japan, or watching the fiery glow of Mount St. Helens. You are witnessing the distant echo of a trench, a connection between surface and abyss. The silence of the ocean floor transforms into the roar of fire above. What disappears into the trench re-emerges as volcanic flame, a cycle as old as the planet. Now, let us journey in imagination into such a trench. You are sinking downward, deeper and deeper, past the light-filled surface waters, where fish glitter like jewels, down past the twilight zone, where creatures make their own light, pulsing in blues and greens. You descend into blackness, into water so cold it burns. You hear nothing but your own breath. The seafloor looms, then drops away, and you see it, the trench, a vast canyon opening into endless dark. Its walls rise like cliffs, steeper than any mountain. Its floor hidden in shadow. Here, silence is not just the absence of sound, but a weight of its own, pressing into your ears, filling the space around you. It is a silence that feels alive. The trench is a place of endings, but also beginnings, for in this abyss, the earth remakes itself. Rock becomes magma. Magma becomes mountains. Life somehow clings to the edges, waiting in patience. Did you know that great earthquakes are often born here, where plates grind and lock, building tension for centuries? They may hold fast, until one day, in an instant, the strain snaps, releasing a shock that shakes the world. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake, which unleashed a tsunami that swept across coastlines, began in such a trench, hidden in the silent dark. The earth was gathering power, and when it released, the world above felt its fury. Yet in this danger there is wonder too. The trenches are archives of time. They carry surface rocks downward, recycling material that may return in new form millions of years later. A mountain may become magma. Magma may become new crust. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is truly lost. The earth is a master of patience, shaping and reshaping itself. Now pause for a moment and reflect. The trenches remind us of the hidden depths of change. They whisper that endings are not final, but transformations, just as the plate sinks, only to rise again as fire. So too, in life, we are often carried into dark places. Moments where it feels as though everything is being crushed away. But beneath that pressure, something new is forming. Some future mountain is waiting to be born. Imagine yourself lying in bed, safe and still, and yet carried in thought to the deepest ocean. You are not crushed. You are not lost. Instead, you are cradled in the planet's secret process. You are part of the cycle. Every breath you take is made possible by the Earth's restless geology. For the trenches give rise to volcanoes, and volcanoes release gases that shape our atmosphere. Even here, in the silent dark, you are connected. And there is suspense in knowing that these places still hold mysteries. We have explored the surface of the moon more thoroughly than the floors of our own trenches. Who knows what waits there, what creatures lurk unseen, what secrets the sinking plates carry with them. The darkness hides them well, but the thought of it stirs the imagination. As your eyes grow heavy, think of this cycle of plates drifting, sinking, melting, and rising again. The deep-sea trenches are the Earth's lungs, inhaling the old, exhaling the new. They are places of unimaginable power, and yet they move with patience, with silence, with slowness, just like the rhythms of your own body, steady, calm, dependable. And now, as we drift onward, we will leave the trench behind, carried upward by thought. The next journey will not sink deeper, but rise higher, to follow the path of fire itself. 2 volcanoes and mountains born of the trench's gift. 2 fiery summits where the earth speaks in flame. But for now, let the quiet weight of the trench hold you. Let the endless patience of the earth wrap you in its slow and steady breath. You are safe, you are held. You are part of this great cycle, forever drifting, forever remade, perfect. Let's carry the journey upward from the deep-sea trench into the fire it gives birth to. Module 10 will focus on volcanoes, but not in a dry or textbook way. Instead, we'll weave it as suspenseful storytelling. Fiery mountains born of the Earth's hidden depths. Places both destructive and life-giving, terrifying yet awe-inspiring. This will be richly layered, poetic, scientific, and sleep-soothing, with over 1,200 words, and as always, every sentence ends with a comma instead of a dot. Have you ever wondered why mountains sometimes burn? Why the earth, usually so solid, so steady beneath our feet, suddenly cracks open to release fire and smoke? There is a deep mystery in the way volcanoes rise from silence, standing calm for centuries, only to awaken one day with a roar that shakes the sky. Picture yourself on a quiet island in the Pacific. It is late evening. The air is warm and filled with the scent of the sea. You walk across dark sand, and in the distance you see a mountain, not just any mountain, but one whose summit glows faintly red, like the ember of a sleeping fire. Clouds drift across its peak, hiding and revealing the glow. The sound of waves blends with something faint, a low rumble, the heartbeat of the earth beneath. Volcanoes are born of subduction, of trenches swallowing plates and melting them into magma. That molten rock, lighter than the solid stone above it, rises, pushing upward, searching for release. Sometimes it builds slowly, creating gentle eruptions where rivers of lava flow like glowing streams across the land. Sometimes it builds tension for centuries, until the pressure is so great that it explodes with unimaginable force, reshaping entire landscapes in a single moment. One of the most haunting examples is Mount Vesuvius, towering above Naples in Italy for centuries. It seemed like an ordinary mountain, peaceful, green with vineyards and villages. But beneath it, magma was rising, pressure was building. In the year 79 AD, it erupted, sending clouds of ash so high they darkened the sun. Cities like Pompeii and Herculaneum were buried in moments. Preserved in stone, people caught mid-breath, mid-step, sealed into history. It is a chilling reminder that volcanoes carry within them both creation and destruction. But not all volcanoes erupt with violence. Some are slow and steady, like Kilauea in Hawaii. Its lava flows quietly, like a glowing river, advancing across the landscape, consuming forests, reshaping coastlines, and eventually meeting the ocean with a hiss of steam. There is suspense even in this. For while it moves slowly, it is unstoppable, a force that cannot be reasoned with. Did you know that more than 80% of the Earth's surface, above and below the oceans, is volcanic in origin? The continents we walk on, the islands scattered across the seas, the ridges at the ocean's floor, all born of fire. Even the air you breathe carries the imprint of volcanoes. 4 gases released by eruptions long ago helped form the atmosphere itself. Without volcanoes, there would be no oceans. Number air, perhaps no life at all. And yet, volcanoes also inspire fear. They are unpredictable, often slumbering for centuries before awakening. In 1815, Mount Tambora in Indonesia erupted with such force that it caused what was called the year without summer. Ash filled the atmosphere, dimming the sun, crops failed, temperatures dropped, people starved across the globe, all from a single mountain's fury. The suspense of volcanoes is not just in their fire, but in their silence. The way they seem calm while hiding immense pressure beneath. Now, imagine standing at the rim of a volcano. You peer down into the crater, and it is as if you are staring into another world. Steam rises in ghostly plumes. The smell of sulfur fills the air. The ground trembles faintly beneath your feet. You are aware of the vast forces beneath, the molten rivers moving in silence. Waiting for the moment of release, it is humbling. A reminder of how small we are compared to the power of the earth. And yet, volcanoes are also givers. The soil they create is some of the most fertile in the world. Cities like Naples and regions like Java thrive on volcanic soil, rich with minerals, coffee, grapes, rice, fruits. All flourish in land born of fire. The same mountain that once destroyed Pompeii now provides life and abundance to millions. This is the duality of volcanoes, destroyers and creators, death and life. Think for a moment about the suspense of living near such a giant. Imagine the people of Iceland, where volcanoes sleep beneath glaciers. Sometimes, when they erupt, the heat melts the ice in a rush, releasing floods that sweep across valleys in moments. Or the people of Japan, where Mount Fuji rises, beautiful and iconic, yet built on a foundation of fire, Life near a volcano is a life lived with awareness, a respect for the hidden forces below. There is also wonder in how different volcanoes shape themselves. Some rise as tall cones, steep and dramatic. Others spread wide, like shields, their lava flowing for miles. Some erupt beneath the ocean, creating new islands in a single night. Did you know that in 1963, off the coast of Iceland, a volcano erupted and gave birth to an island called Surtsey? Within weeks, scientists watched new land emerge from the sea, steaming and barren. Within years, plants began to grow, birds began to nest. It was as if creation itself had been witnessed in real time. Did you know that great earthquakes are often born here, where plates grind and lock, building tension for centuries? They may hold fast, until one day, in an instant, the strain snaps, releasing a shock that shakes the world. The 2004 Indian Ocean earthquake, which unleashed a tsunami that swept across coastlines, began in such a trench, hidden in the silent dark. The earth was gathering power, and when it released, the world above felt its fury. Yet in this danger there is wonder too. The trenches are archives of time. They carry surface rocks downward, recycling material that may return in new form millions of years later. A mountain may become magma. Magma may become new crust. Nothing is wasted. Nothing is truly lost. The earth is a master of patience, shaping and reshaping itself. Now pause for a moment and reflect. The trenches remind us of the hidden depths of change. They whisper that endings are not final, but transformations, just as the plate sinks, only to rise again as fire. So too, in life, we are often carried into dark places, moments where it feels as though everything is being crushed away. But beneath that pressure, something new is forming. Some future mountain is waiting to be born. Imagine yourself lying in bed, safe and still, and yet carried in thought to the deepest ocean. You are not crushed. You are not lost. Instead, you are cradled in the planet's secret process. You are part of the cycle. Every breath you take is made possible by the Earth's restless geology. For the trenches give rise to volcanoes, and volcanoes release gases that shape our atmosphere. Even here, in the silent dark, you are connected. And there is suspense in knowing that these places still hold mysteries. We have explored the surface of the moon more thoroughly than the floors of our own trenches. Who knows what waits there, what creatures lurk unseen, what secrets the sinking plates carry with them. The darkness hides them well, but the thought of it stirs the imagination. As your eyes grow heavy, think of this cycle of plates drifting, sinking, melting, and rising again. The deep sea trenches are the Earth's lungs, inhaling the old, exhaling the new. They are places of unimaginable power, and yet they move with patience, with silence, with slowness, just like the rhythms of your own body, steady, calm, dependable. And now, as we drift onward, we will leave the trench behind, carried upward by thought. The next journey will not sink deeper, but rise higher, to follow the path of fire itself. 2 volcanoes and mountains born of the trench's gift. 2 fiery summits where the earth speaks in flame. But for now, let the quiet weight of the trench hold you. Let the endless patience of the earth wrap you in its slow and steady breath. You are safe, you are held, you are part of this great cycle, forever drifting, forever remade, perfect. Let's carry the journey upward from the deep-sea trench into the fire it gives birth to. Module 10 will focus on volcanoes, but not in a dry or textbook way. Instead, we'll weave it as suspenseful storytelling. Fiery mountains born of the Earth's hidden depths, places both destructive and life-giving. Terrifying yet awe-inspiring, this will be richly layered, poetic, scientific, and sleep-soothing, with over 1,200 words, and as always, every sentence ends with a comma instead of a dot. Have you ever wondered why mountains sometimes burn? Why the earth, usually so solid, so steady beneath our feet, suddenly cracks open to release fire and smoke? There is a deep mystery in the way volcanoes rise from silence, standing calm for centuries, only to awaken one day with a roar that shakes the sky. Picture yourself on a quiet island in the Pacific. It is late evening. The air is warm and filled with the scent of the sea. You walk across dark sand, and in the distance you see a mountain, not just any mountain, but one whose summit glows faintly red, like the ember of a sleeping fire. Clouds drift across its peak, hiding and revealing the glow. The sound of waves blends with something faint, a low rumble, the heartbeat of the earth beneath. Volcanoes are born of subduction, of trenches swallowing plates and melting them into magma. That molten rock, lighter than the solid stone above it, rises, pushing upward, searching for release. Sometimes it builds slowly, creating gentle eruptions where rivers of lava flow like glowing streams across the land. Sometimes it builds tension for centuries, until the pressure is so great that it explodes with unimaginable force, reshaping entire landscapes in a single moment. One of the most haunting examples is Mount Vesuvius, towering above Naples in Italy for centuries. It seemed like an ordinary mountain, peaceful, green with vineyards and villages. But beneath it, magma was rising, pressure was building. In the year 79 AD, it erupted, sending clouds of ash so high they darkened the sun. Cities like Pompeii and Herculaneum were buried in moments, preserved in stone, people caught mid-breath, mid-step, sealed into history. It is a chilling reminder that volcanoes carry within them both creation and destruction. But not all volcanoes erupt with violence. Some are slow and steady, like Kilauea in Hawaii. Its lava flows quietly, like a glowing river, advancing across the landscape, consuming forests, reshaping coastlines, and eventually meeting the ocean with a hiss of steam. There is suspense even in this. For while it moves slowly, it is unstoppable, a force that cannot be reasoned with. Did you know that more than 80% of the Earth's surface, above and below the oceans, is volcanic in origin? The continents we walk on, the islands scattered across the seas, the ridges at the ocean's floor, all born of fire. Even the air you breathe carries the imprint of volcanoes. 4 gases released by eruptions long ago helped form the atmosphere itself. Without volcanoes, there would be no oceans. Number air, perhaps no life at all. And yet, volcanoes also inspire fear. They are unpredictable, often slumbering for centuries before awakening. In 1815, Mount Tambora in Indonesia erupted with such force that it caused what was called the year without summer. Ash filled the atmosphere, dimming the sun, crops failed, temperatures dropped. People starved across the globe, all from a single mountain's fury. The suspense of volcanoes is not just in their fire, but in their silence. The way they seem calm while hiding immense pressure beneath. Now, imagine standing at the rim of a volcano. You peer down into the crater, and it is as if you are staring into another world. Steam rises in ghostly plumes. The smell of sulfur fills the air. The ground trembles faintly beneath your feet. You are aware of the vast forces beneath, the molten rivers moving in silence. Waiting for the moment of release, it is humbling. A reminder of how small we are compared to the power of the earth. And yet, volcanoes are also givers. The soil they create is some of the most fertile in the world. Cities like Naples and regions like Java thrive on volcanic soil, rich with minerals, coffee, grapes, rice, fruits. All flourish in land born of fire. The same mountain that once destroyed Pompeii now provides life and abundance to millions. This is the duality of volcanoes, destroyers and creators, death and life. Think for a moment about the suspense of living near such a giant. Imagine the people of Iceland, where volcanoes sleep beneath glaciers. Sometimes, when they erupt, the heat melts the ice in a rush, releasing floods that sweep across valleys in moments. Or the people of Japan, where Mount Fuji rises, beautiful and iconic, yet built on a foundation of fire. Life near a volcano is a life lived with awareness, a respect for the hidden forces below. There is also wonder in how different volcanoes shape themselves. Some rise as tall cones, steep and dramatic. Others spread wide, like shields, their lava flowing for miles. Some erupt beneath the ocean, creating new islands in a single night. Did you know that in 1963, off the coast of Iceland, a volcano erupted and gave birth to an island called Surtsey? Within weeks, scientists watched new land emerge from the sea, steaming and barren. Within years, plants began to grow, birds began to nest. It was as if creation itself had been witnessed in real time. Pause for a moment and reflect on this. Volcanoes are suspense and mystery, fire and silence. They remind us that beneath the calm surface of life, immense forces are always moving. We may feel stable, but change is always building. Sometimes it is quiet, sometimes explosive, but always transformative. Just as lava hardens into new land, so too our own trials can harden into strength. What feels destructive today may become the foundation for tomorrow. Now, let your mind drift. Imagine lying near the base of a volcano at night. The stars shine above. The air is still. From the mountain's summit, a faint glow reflects against the sky. A pulse of red in the dark. You hear no eruption, only the quiet breathing of the earth. The suspense lingers, not threatening, but reminding you that you are part of something vast, that you live upon a world that is alive. And as the fire rises, so too does our journey. For what is born in the trenches and rises through volcanoes does not stop there. The molten rivers, once hardened, will lift mountains, carve landscapes, and shape continents. In the next step of our exploration, we will follow that fire upward to the mountains that tower over the land, giants that hold secrets of time and stone. But for now, let the glow of the volcano lull you, steady, patient, powerful, both dangerous and life-giving. A reminder that even in destruction, creation follows. Have you ever wondered why mountains rise where the earth should be flat? Why these colossal walls of stone push upward, shaping horizons, dividing continents, and altering weather itself? It is as though the planet grows restless, folding and breaking its skin to reveal jagged towers of rock. Picture yourself standing at the edge of a mountain valley. The evening is quiet, the air is crisp and cool around you. The last light of the sun paints the peaks in hues of gold and purple. The mountains stand silent, their sheer faces glowing faintly, casting long shadows across the land. You feel their presence like ancient guardians, watching over the earth, timeless and immovable. And yet you know deep within they are not eternal, but the product of restless forces beneath. Mountains are born from collision, when two tectonic plates meet head-on. Neither willing to sink, the crust buckles and folds. Pushed upward in slow motion, imagine two unstoppable waves of stone colliding, pressing against one another for millions of years. From this struggle, the Himalayas were born, the tallest mountains on Earth. They are still rising, even now, inch by inch each year. As India continues to push into Asia, did you know that Mount Everest, the highest point on our planet, is made of marine limestone? Within its summit are fossils of ancient sea creatures, shells and corals that once rested on the bottom of an ocean. Now they lie above the clouds. It is almost unbelievable, and yet it is true. Proof that mountains are not fixed monuments, but the restless memory of moving plates. There is suspense in their silence. They seem calm, unmoving, but within them lie forces that can shake the earth. Earthquakes often trace their origins to these mighty collisions, where rocks strain and snap, releasing energy that has built for centuries. A single second can release the pressure of centuries, tumbling cities and reshaping valleys. The Himalayas, the Andes, the Alps, they all remind us that beauty is often born of struggle. But mountains are not only scars of conflict, they are also cradles of life. Their slopes catch clouds, drawing rain, feeding rivers that pour into valleys, nourishing entire civilizations. The Ganges, the Yangtze, the Amazon, all are born from mountains, carving their way down to the sea. Without these towering giants, water would not flow as it does, forests would not flourish, and people would not thrive in the ways we know today. Imagine walking a mountain path at night. The sky is filled with stars, brighter than you have ever seen. The silence of the peaks surrounds you, broken only by the whisper of wind. Each step takes you higher into thinner air. You feel your breath grow shorter, but the view expands endlessly. It is as if you are climbing not just a mountain, but toward the very edge of the sky. And yet, mountains also hold mystery. Inside them lie caves stretching for miles, labyrinths of stone where rivers vanish into darkness. Entire ecosystems hide there, unseen by the sun. Sometimes explorers stumble upon crystals taller than people, glittering chambers formed drop by drop over thousands of years. Suspense lingers in the thought that so much still lies hidden within these stone giants. Secrets untouched by human eyes. Did you know that mountains even shape the wind? They bend the jet streams, create rain shadows, and change entire climates. The deserts of Central Asia exist partly because the Himalayas block moisture from reaching them. The Andes create lush rainforests on one side and dry plains on the other. Mountains are not passive, they breathe, they divide. They decide the weather of nations. Pause now and reflect mountains in their patience. Tell us something about time. They remind us that greatness is not sudden, but built through pressure and persistence. Rocks pushed higher year after year until they touch the sky, just as in life, where challenges can press upon us, shaping and lifting us. So to do mountains show that struggle and endurance create towering strength. And yet, even mountains are not forever. The same rains that give life also erode their faces. Rivers carve valleys, glaciers grind down peaks. Wind wears away their strength, grain by grain, over millions of years. Even the highest ranges will be worn down into hills, then into plains. Their stories written in sediments carried to the sea. Mountains rise, mountains fall, and the cycle continues. Now imagine lying in bed, picturing a mountain. It stands silent, unshaken by your worries. Its age is measured not in years, but in epochs. It has seen storms and suns, ice ages and summers. Civilizations rise and fall at its feet. Yet it endures, patient and strong. This is the gift mountains offer us, a reminder of steadiness, of the long view, of the strength found in simply standing still. And there is suspense in knowing that beneath their calm faces, the earth still shifts. The Himalayas will continue to rise. The Andes will continue to quake. Mountains are living monuments, caught in the slow-motion dance of continents. They are proof that the earth itself is alive, still shaping itself moment by moment. As your eyes grow heavy, imagine being cradled in a mountain valley, safe beneath its towering peaks. You are sheltered, you are held. The weight of stone above you is not a burden, but a comfort, reminding you that you are part of something vast and enduring. And now our journey continues, for while mountains rise as monuments of collision, they also carry within them veins of fire and ice. In our next exploration, we will enter the hidden heart of mountains, into the caves and glaciers where the suspense of darkness and the shimmer of frozen time reveal new secrets. But for now, let the silence of the mountains settle over you, steady, patient, eternal, cradling you in their timeless embrace. Have you ever wondered what secrets lie within the mountains? They stand tall and silent on the outside, but inside, their hearts are carved with passages, tunnels, and frozen chambers. Some lead into glittering cathedrals of crystal, others into silent halls of ice that have stood untouched for thousands of years. It is as if the mountains themselves hold their breath, keeping secrets in the dark. Picture yourself entering a cavern at twilight. The outside world fades as you step into cool air. The sound of your footsteps echoes softly against stone. You lift a lantern, and the light reveals walls that drip with moisture, shimmering as if the rock itself is alive. Stalactites hang like frozen fangs from the ceiling, while stalagmites rise like ancient candles from the ground. It feels as though you have entered a cathedral, not built by human hands, but by time itself. Drop by drop, caves form when water works patiently on stone. Rain seeps into cracks, dissolving minerals, widening them year after year over centuries, entire systems emerge, twisting like veins beneath the surface. Some stretch for miles, with chambers large enough to hold entire cities. Did you know that the Mammoth Cave system in Kentucky is over 400 miles long, and much of it is still unexplored? Imagine the suspense of walking into such a place, not knowing what lies around the next bend. In some caves, crystals grow in silence, hidden from the world. In Mexico's Cave of Crystals, massive selenite formations rise like pillars, some taller than a house, glowing softly like frozen beams of light. To enter that cave is like stepping into a dream, yet it is dangerous too. The heat and humidity are so intense that humans cannot stay long. It is as if the cave itself defends its secrets, allowing only fleeting glimpses. Glaciers, too, are hidden worlds, but carved from ice instead of stone. Imagine stepping into a frozen tunnel beneath a glacier. The light from outside filters through the ice, turning everything blue. The walls glow like stained glass, rippling with patterns formed over centuries of snowfall. You run your hand across the smooth surface and realize you are touching time itself. Layers of snow compacted into ice, each one a memory of winters long gone. There is suspense in these frozen places, for glaciers are not truly still. They flow slowly, like rivers of ice, grinding down mountains, carving valleys, reshaping the land. Sometimes they crack without warning, their deep booms echoing like thunder, reminding you that even here, beneath the calm, immense forces are always moving. Caves and glaciers both hold stories of life. In the depths of caves, creatures live that have never seen the sun. Blind fish, pale insects, strange fungi glowing faintly in the dark. They remind us that life finds a way, even in places where we imagine nothing could survive. In glaciers, scientists have found air bubbles trapped for thousands of years, tiny prisons holding ancient atmospheres. By studying them, we learn what the air was like long before human history began. Did you know that entire rivers can vanish into caves, slipping underground and traveling in darkness for miles before re-emerging? In Slovenia, the Kokian caves hold such a river, roaring unseen beneath stone vaults taller than cathedrals. To stand there is to feel the power of both earth and water, hidden from the world above. Pause now and reflect. Mountains are not only what we see, their true depth lies inside, in the silence of caves and the frozen breath of glaciers. They teach us that beauty often hides in secret places, where patience and time shape wonders unseen. Just as our own lives hold hidden depths, quiet strengths, and mysteries we may not show to the world, so to do the mountains remind us that what is within often shapes what is seen without. Now, imagine yourself lying quietly. Your mind drifts into the cave. You hear the steady drip of water, the whisper of air moving through stone passages. The darkness is not frightening but comforting. It wraps around you like a blanket, inviting you to rest. Then imagine drifting into a glacier, surrounded by blue light. The air is crisp, the silence profound. You feel suspended in time, untouched, serene, and yet suspense lingers, for caves can collapse, glaciers can crack. These places remind us that nothing is as still as it seems. They are alive in their own way, shifting, flowing, growing. A reminder that change moves even in silence. Even in darkness, as your eyes grow heavier, think of the patience of caves, the slow drip of water carving stone, the patience of glaciers, snowfall upon snowfall, compacting into timeless ice. They are reminders that great things are built slowly, quietly, in places no one sees, just as rest builds strength in your body tonight, silently and unseen. And now, our journey must move onward. For while caves and glaciers reveal the hidden hearts of mountains, the Earth's restless story continues above them and beyond. In our next exploration, we will follow rivers born of these giants, tracing the lifeblood of the land as it journeys from mountain springs to ocean depths. But for now, let the cool silence of caves and the shimmering glow of ice guide you gently into rest. You are safe. You are cradled in time. Have you ever wondered why rivers feel alive? They sing, they roar, they whisper. They twist and turn as if they are telling stories. From the smallest mountain stream to the greatest rivers that cross continents, water never stops moving. It carries with it the memory of glaciers, the strength of rainfall, the secrets of lands it touches. A river is more than water. It is a living thread that binds the world together. Imagine standing at the very beginning of a river. High in the mountains, the snow melts beneath the sun, forming droplets that slide down stone. Those droplets join into trickles, the trickles into streams, until finally a ribbon of water begins to move. It is so delicate at first, you might step over it without noticing. Yet that ribbon will grow, carving valleys, carrying life, shaping worlds. Rivers are patient sculptors. They carve stone, wear down mountains, and shape the very face of the earth. The Grand Canyon itself is the work of a river, the Colorado, which spent millions of years cutting through rock, layer by layer. Think of the suspense in that patience. For every drop of water carries a grain of sand. Every grain carves a line. And with time, entire landscapes are born. Rivers are also lifelines. Ancient civilizations flourished along their banks. The Nile, the Tigris, the Euphrates, the Indus, the Yangtze, each gave rise to cities, cultures, and stories that echo through time. Without rivers, agriculture would never have taken root. People gathered where water flowed, and from there, the shape of human history began. To look at a river is to look at the beginning of civilization itself. But rivers hold suspense too. They are not always calm and kind. They can turn fierce, flooding without warning, sweeping away villages, changing their courses overnight. In some places, entire rivers have vanished underground, swallowed by caves. In others, they have created deadly whirlpools, their surfaces calm while their depths pull with terrifying strength. To stand near a wild river is to feel its power, raw and unyielding. Think of the Amazon, the largest river by volume in the world. It flows with such force that it pushes fresh water far into the Atlantic Ocean. Its basin is a kingdom of mystery, home to creatures seen nowhere else. Pink river dolphins, giant catfish, piranha. To drift along the Amazon at night is to feel suspense in every ripple, for the river seems alive. Watching, listening, waiting. Rivers also carry time. If you place a leaf upon the surface, it will be taken away, drifting down currents that have moved for centuries. In Tibet, the Brahmaputra flows with icy clarity. In Africa, the Congo plunges into depths deeper than any other river on earth, more than 700 feet in some places. Imagine what might lurk in those hidden depths, unseen by human eyes, waiting in silence. And yet, rivers soothe us. The sound of flowing water has always been linked to calm. To sit beside a gentle stream is to feel your heartbeat slow, your breath deepen. The rhythm of water seems to remind us of something ancient, perhaps even the rhythm of life itself. For our own blood flows like a river through our veins, carrying life from the heart to every cell. But here is the suspense. Rivers connect everything. And when they change, the world changes too. If glaciers melt, rivers swell. If droughts come, rivers shrink. Entire ecosystems depend on their flow. Fish spawn in their currents. Forests drink from their banks. Villages live by their harvests. Without rivers, the earth would be silent, barren, waiting. Now imagine yourself drifting on a small wooden boat. The stars shimmer above, and the river reflects them like a mirror. The water carries you gently, rocking like a cradle. Yet, in the distance, you hear the faint roar of rapids. The suspense grows, for you know that rivers, like dreams, can shift without warning. They can take you from peace into chaos in a heartbeat. There are also mystical rivers, spoken of in myth. The river Styx of Greek legend, said to separate the world of the living from the world of the dead. The Ganges in India, worshipped as sacred, where waters are believed to wash away sin. These stories remind us that rivers are not just physical. They flow in our imaginations, shaping beliefs, guiding rituals, weaving into the fabric of human meaning. Pause now and reflect. Rivers are both fragile and eternal. They remind us of our own journey, always moving forward, sometimes calm, sometimes rough. They whisper that life does not stay still, that every moment flows into the next, just as streams join rivers and rivers join seas. Close your eyes and picture the river you have just traveled. From a drop of snowmelt to the roaring flood, from still pools reflecting stars to thundering waterfalls. It is the same river, and yet never the same, changing with every moment, and like the river, you too are carried onward, gently, patiently, into rest, and yet suspense lingers. 4 rivers are roads without maps. They can lead to places unknown. 2 oceans vast and wild. They can vanish into deserts, or cut through jungles no human has seen. They remind us that mystery flows always before us, unseen just around the bend as you drift into sleep. Let the river carry you. Feel its coolness, its rhythm, its ceaseless motion. You are safe upon its waters, guided by its flow, cradled by its sound. The river will carry you gently, carrying your thoughts away like leaves, until only silence remains. But our journey does not end here, for beyond the rivers lie the oceans, vast and endless, holding secrets even greater. In the next module, we will leave the land behind and follow the rivers to where they meet the sea, to where mystery deepens and the earth opens into infinity. Have you ever stood at the edge of the sea and wondered what lies beyond? You watch the waves rising and falling, each one carrying secrets from places unseen. The ocean stretches farther than your eyes can follow, a vastness so immense that it feels endless. It is a place of wonder and suspense, for though we live on a blue planet, we have only glimpsed a fraction of its waters. The rest remains hidden, waiting. Imagine yourself standing on a quiet shore at night. The moonlight paints the water silver. The waves roll in and out with a rhythm like breathing. You hear the deep hush, the endless sigh of the tide. It feels both comforting and haunting, as if the sea is whispering to you, telling stories of ships lost, of creatures unknown, of mysteries that sleep beneath the surface. The ocean covers more than 70% of our planet, yet more than 80% of it has never been explored by human eyes. Think of the suspense in that truth. We know more about distant galaxies than about the world beneath the waves. Every dive into the deep is like entering an alien planet, one that is part of our Earth and yet profoundly other. Consider the surface first, where waves dance in sunlight, tiny plankton drift, feeding fish, dolphins leap and play, seabirds dive for food. The surface feels alive and familiar, yet beneath it lies an entire world layered in shadows. The deeper you go, the stranger it becomes. At 100 feet, colors fade. Reds vanish first, then oranges, until everything becomes blue and green. At 1,000 feet, sunlight disappears entirely, and the darkness begins. And in that darkness, life has found a way. Strange creatures drift with glowing bodies, jellyfish that shimmer like lanterns, fish with lights dangling from their foreheads to lure prey, squids that flash like fireworks. This realm, called the Twilight Zone, is both mesmerizing and unsettling. Imagine floating there, surrounded by lights that blink on and off in patterns no human mind can read, as if the ocean itself is speaking in a secret code. Go deeper still, into the midnight zone. Here the pressure is crushing, strong enough to shatter steel, and yet life thrives. Gigantic squids stretch their arms into the dark, their eyes the size of dinner plates, adapted to glimpse even the faintest flicker of light. Anglerfish lurk, carrying glowing lures like bait. The suspense here is overwhelming, for the ocean's depths are filled with things rarely seen, things that defy imagination. Then there are the trenches, places like the Mariana Trench, where the ocean floor plunges deeper than Mount Everest is tall, more than 35,000 feet below the surface. The darkness is absolute, the pressure unimaginable, and yet even here, life exists. Tiny shrimp-like creatures, bacteria clinging to vents that release scalding minerals. The suspense of this world is staggering, for if life can thrive here, in darkness and pressure beyond measure, what else might exist, hidden, unseen, throughout history? The ocean has held us in its grip. Ancient sailors feared it as much as they relied on it. They told tales of sea serpents, of monsters with tentacles that could drag ships into the deep. Even today, myths cling to the water, stories of the Bermuda Triangle, of ghost ships vanishing without a trace. Perhaps the truth is even stranger, for the ocean is vast enough to hide anything, and yet the ocean is also a giver of life. The very air we breathe depends on it. Tiny phytoplankton drifting in the sea produce more than half of the world's oxygen. The ocean regulates climate, carries warmth across the globe. Without its currents, the earth would be unrecognizable. To listen to the ocean's waves is to listen to the heartbeat of the planet, steady vast, eternal, but suspense lingers always. Consider the strange sounds recorded by deep-sea microphones, mysterious booms and groans with no known source. Some may be ice cracking, others volcanic eruptions, yet some remain unexplained. Perhaps they are caused by creatures we have never met, drifting in the blackness of the abyss, waiting. Now imagine yourself floating on a calm boat in the middle of the ocean. The stars stretch across the sky, mirrored by the endless water. You hear only the gentle rocking of waves. The peace is deep, but so is the awareness that beneath you lies miles of unknown. Darkness filled with mysteries you will never see. That mixture of comfort and suspense is what makes the ocean so enchanting. Poets have long compared the sea to the soul. Both are vast, both hold storms and calms, both contain depths no one can fully know. To dream of the ocean is to dream of mystery, of journeys without end. And as you listen now, drifting toward rest, the ocean becomes a mirror for your own mind, carrying thoughts away like currents, washing over worries until they dissolve. And yet, even as you drift, suspense lingers. For the ocean reminds us that the world is bigger than we can hold, that there are places we will never touch, mysteries we will never solve. It tells us that uncertainty is not something to fear, but something to marvel at. For the unknown is what gives life its depth. So close your eyes now, and let the sound of waves guide you. Feel the rocking of the current, the coolness of the night air. The ocean is beneath you, carrying you, protecting you, and whispering its secrets as you fall into sleep. But our journey does not end here, for beyond the oceans lies the very heart of the planet, the restless crust that shifts and trembles, the earthquakes and the molten fire below. In the next module, we will dive not into water, but into stone and heat, to uncover the mysteries beneath the restless earth itself. Have you ever wondered what the earth is hiding beneath its calm surface? We walk across fields, streets, and mountains, and everything seems steady. Yet deep beneath our feet, forces stir, waiting. Immense pressure builds, heat surges upward. And sometimes the earth reminds us of its restless nature. It does so through volcanoes, those fiery mountains where the hidden heart of the planet reveals itself. Imagine standing near one, perhaps not close enough to feel danger, but close enough to feel awe. The mountain towers above you, silent but alive. Steam rises in faint wisps from cracks in the stone. The ground beneath your feet is warm, as though the earth itself is breathing. At night, you might see a faint glow, red light seeping from the summit like the breath of a sleeping giant. Volcanoes are passages to the deep. They form when molten rock, called magma, forces its way upward, breaking through the crust. Sometimes the eruptions are gentle, lava spilling out like glowing rivers that move slowly, reshaping the land. Other times they are explosive, the mountain roaring with fury, ash and fire hurled into the sky, turning daylight into darkness. Suspense lingers in every volcano, for no one knows exactly when it will wake. Consider Mount Vesuvius, which erupted in the year 79, burying the city of Pompeii in ash. People went about their lives, unaware that the mountain towering above them was building its strength. When it finally erupted, it released energy greater than the most powerful weapons we know today. The suspense of that moment is chilling, the thought that beneath calm skies, destruction waited, silent but inevitable. Or think of Krakatoa, whose eruption in 1883 was so violent it was heard nearly 2,000 miles away. The explosion sent tsunamis across oceans, and ash darkened skies around the globe. It was one of the loudest sounds ever recorded on Earth. Imagine that suspense. The Earth itself, roaring in a voice so loud it shook the entire world. But volcanoes are not only destroyers, they are also creators. Islands rise from the sea where none existed before. The Hawaiian Islands, for example, were born from volcanic fire. Lava that cools becomes new land, fertile soil rich with minerals, nourishing forests and fields. Without volcanoes, the Earth would not be as it is. They are both destroyer and giver, terror and beauty. Deep beneath, the suspense builds in silence. Magma chambers swell with heat, gases rise, pressure grows. Scientists can measure tremors. They can watch the mountain for signs. But often the final moment comes without warning. A sudden burst of fury, an eruption that cannot be stopped. Volcanoes remind us of forces greater than ourselves. Forces that we can study but never control. And within these fiery mountains live myths. Cultures across the world have seen volcanoes as homes of gods and spirits. In Hawaii, Pele, the goddess of fire, is said to dance in the flowing lava. In Japan, Mount Fuji is revered as sacred. In Iceland, legends speak of fire giants stirring beneath the land. These stories show the awe and fear humans have always felt. Looking at mountains that glow with fire, imagine now standing in the midst of an eruption, not in danger, but safe as an observer. The sky darkens with clouds of ash. Lightning crackles through the plume. Lava pours down slopes. Glowing rivers moving with slow inevitability. The air is hot, filled with the scent of sulfur. Every sound is amplified. The crackling of stone, the roar of escaping gas, the rumble that shakes the ground. The suspense is overwhelming, as though the earth itself has opened its heart and released its fire. Yet volcanoes also remind us of time. Some remain dormant for centuries, sleeping giants that people forget, only to awaken suddenly. Others erupt constantly, shaping and reshaping their surroundings day by day. To live near a volcano is to live with suspense woven into daily life, a reminder that nothing is permanent, and there are even volcanoes hidden beneath the sea, seamounts that rise unseen, their eruptions forming islands, their plumes creating entire ecosystems. Around hydrothermal vents, life thrives without sunlight, feeding on the minerals from the Earth's molten core. These places feel alien, and yet they are part of our world. Suspense deepens when we realize how little we know of these fiery realms beneath the waves. Reflect on this. Volcanoes are symbols of transformation. They show us that destruction and creation are not opposites, but parts of the same cycle. Fire consumes, but it also clears. It melts, but it also builds. In the same way, our lives often face eruptions, moments of upheaval and change, painful at times, but leading to renewal. Like volcanoes, we to hold hidden fire, waiting for release. Now close your eyes and picture the glow of lava, slow and hypnotic, flowing in waves of red and orange. It moves like liquid light, reshaping everything it touches. Around you, the earth rumbles softly, steady and deep. It is not threatening you, only reminding you that the planet is alive, vibrant, restless, and as you drift into rest, let the volcanoes' fire warm you, not with fear but with wonder. You are safe here, listening to the heartbeat of the earth, feeling its power, its patience, its endless cycle of destruction and renewal. The suspense fades into calm, the fiery mountain settling once again into silence. But our journey does not end here, for beyond fire lies the trembling earth itself, the shifting of tectonic plates, the earthquakes that remind us of the planet's ceaseless movement. In the next module, we will step into that mystery, listening to the deep groans of the earth as it reshapes itself in silence and in sudden bursts of power.